Yeah. Good afternoon, all. Professor Srikanta Samal, Chief Patron of this webinar conference, Principal of the College, Professor Biswal, HOD of Commerce, the resource person, Dr. Mrityunjay Swain from Kolkata University, Berhampur, and faculty members and my dear students. Good afternoon, all. Can I make a PowerPoint presentation or you want extempore? Students, I want your views because I want you to be more interactive. I would give my presentation surely. And if you want, I am ready. You want me to share the PowerPoint or what?
PowerPoint presentation.
Okay.
Madam, PowerPoint
Okay. But I will go as per my ideas that I have thought to share with you. I will also share the PowerPoint. Please yes, if you are able to see my screen. Are you able to see my screen? Okay. So when Mr. Deepak called me to have a webinar presentation for the faculty, students and scholars, and which involve the both PG, UG students and sometimes school students also, he said, I thought it is very appropriate to have this particular topic, how to manage COVID, post-COVID through innovation and entrepreneurship. Habib, can I see my face also here? Yeah. So you're able to see my screen. Can I continue?
Yes, ma'am. Completely clear.
Okay. So first, the point came to my mind. What is COVID and how it affected, and what are the post-COVID impact? So when I see the impact, so though we have said as post-COVID, we are in a VUCA situation. What is VUCA situation? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Here, and we all know that the lockdown started on March 16th. And during that time, all the colleges, universities got closed, and the lockdown was announced by the government, right? And the lockdown impact, we all know that there were a lot of job losses, health issues, mental issues, deaths of near relatives, finance problem, business disruptions, supply chain disruptions. All these things were witnessed and the whole world was under turbulent times. And then slowly after 4 lockdowns, the government announced unlockdowns. So during the unlockdown, we have seen new products, demand for new services. Government came up with a 20 lakh crore package. NGOs rendered lot of help. And now you are keeping the topic of seminar as post-COVID-19. I'm still wondering, do we have the situation called post-COVID now itself? Because in the West, new wave of COVID-19 is going to come, the paper news is saying. So are we going for the next wave of COVID-19? So whether we would have the issue 0.1.0 COVID, 1.0 COVID, like that. But India showed resilience in all these circumstances, and we are very strong enough to manage this particular pandemic. And you know, the India is very special in certain terms, like, you know, India is known for a particular term called Vasudhaiva Kudumbakam. We always have harmony with the nature. And so this COVID disruption actually made the business world so much worried about the business model. So the businesses which were having very big demand, now they are not having any demand. And the business which was very less, now it is doing very well. especially if you take the personal protective equipment industry. Before March, we were producing only 0 items. But after this COVID, we are now producing 2 lakh items of personal protective equipment. So the industry has emerged as of now. And in the healthcare industry, we have seen lot of disruptions, lot of startups coming up. So this is the story about the COVID, how we faced, how we came through, and now we are in the unlockdown. Now we are getting the news that the colleges and university campuses are going to open. And even when we open also, it will be having lot of rules. Like you may have new seating matrix, staggered classes, different mess and library rules, revamped hostels and canteens, and student social distancing life in both schools, colleges, and also the universities. So they should be ready for that. Now coming to the topic, we all know what is innovation and entrepreneurship. And you know, India is in the top 50 innovative countries as per the Global Innovation Index. We have jumped 4 points above within a very short span of time. And if you see the history with a very late entry into this global map, India was successful in achieving this particular status. The World Intellectual Property Organization Annual Global Innovation Index 2020 have brought some cheer to the sober socio-economic landscape of the country. And for the first time, India is placed in the list of top 50 innovative countries in the world. And as I told, it has claimed effectively 4 spots to finally make it mark as one of the next innovation destinations. So the innovation ecosystem is really doing well. And we all know there are a lot of innovations we can do in the educational side. And in educational side, we can either think of service or product innovation, technology, tool or instrument innovation, or knowledge or method innovation. And we also know a lot of entrepreneurships available, small business, large business, scalable startups, innovative startups, social entrepreneurship, which is very well doing now, and of course, research entrepreneurship also. Now I come directly to the impact of this COVID-19 on the people. Like people, I mean the students particularly first, then the teachers, then the leaders like HODs, principals, and then institutions, how they can be innovatively using this particular situation. You know, the necessity is the mother of invention, and when necessity forces one, they will definitely innovate and they become intrapreneur. Intrapreneur, I mean here, enterprising nature of an individual. Now coming to this, if you take the student perspective, how many of you are having the problem of like now after COVID-19, you would be having a lot of issues, right? One is maybe your parents would have lost their jobs, right? Or your kith and kin, you would have got affected by COVID-19. Some death cases would have happened. And in the meantime, what happened, all the faculty are started taking classes in the online. Suddenly, we have switched from the offline classes to online classes because we want academic continuity to be taken properly, right? So UGC announced that all the classes can be conducted online. Whether we were having any infrastructure for that, nobody knows, including the teachers. Clear? We were also having problems. Students are facing problems. In all these circumstances, we were able to manage online classes effectively. So this is one of the enterprising nature of students and teachers I look at. So when you see the students' perspective, what are the things that they can innovatively do? So as per UGC norm, the number of hours students can have online classes is 2 hours, right? Assuming that you spend 8 hours for sleeping, remaining how many hours? 8 plus 2, 10. So 14 hours are at your disposal. So how are you going to use this particular timing? So time management is very important for the students during this pandemic situation. And there are news which are coming up in the media that after Diwali, the colleges may reopen. But I'm quite doubtful. Again, the government has told that it is not going to reopen till December 31st. Maybe after January mid, we may expect that the colleges may reopen. So still we are going to go for an online classes only. So during these online classes, though you are finding it difficult for data and other things, so how you can innovatively manage your resources? So resources, I mean first to take with the timing. You have 24 hours. Every individual is having 24 hours at your disposal. Are you using it wisely? So 2 hours is online class and you are given online engagement by the faculty, right? And remaining time, assuming that 10 hours you spend for eating, cheating, or eating, chatting and sleeping. So all those stuff, you have remaining 8 to 10 hours. What are you going to do? So can you do some kind of innovative activities? Like, for example, some people may complain, I am not having network connectivity. I am not able to attend classes, right? So how you can manage the situation? Earlier you were spending for transport, you were spending for food when you travel to college. When you are traveling to college, your physical environment as well as psychological environment was equal for all the students. But in the home, it is completely different. Your parents may have a quarrel. Your situation may not be comfortable for you to do learning, online learning. So you have a lot of difficulties. But in the difficult times, with the available resources, you can definitely cope with if you have some innovative ideas. So you are having a mobile phone, you are having little money which you were spending for food or your transport, which can be used for your network connection, and you can successfully attend online classes. And you can, if you are having some talent, you can also do some coaching classes. You can do online internship. There are a lot of companies which are offering now online internship. And this is a very, very ideal period because those people who are in the third year of degree or in the PG second year, no, they have to upskill themselves because they have to face the placement market. So in those cases, you have to definitely upskill yourself. You can do a lot of online certification courses by which you can say that you are professionally qualified, right? And don't ask again, where is the money? There are a lot of very, very qualitative courses available like Coursera, edX, and so many, Udemy, lot of online platforms which are available in which lots of courses are made free completely for the students because of this pandemic, okay? And these are the ideas. And apart from this, so don't think that somebody has to help you and you have to come up in life. You help yourself. You start on your own. So if you have innovative ideas, you start your own enterprise. You have first startup idea. And the ecosystem available for innovation is very fantastic in India. So in our days, when we were doing college, when we were doing university education, we were doing research, internet connectivity was not there. Databases were not there. Incubation hubs were not there. This kind of Niti Aayog's Atal Innovation Mission was not there. And we were all struggling a lot with the available resources. We are now in this position and addressing you people. And now the new generation is having very, very advantageous position in terms of resources. Don't think that money is the only resource. You have now the innovation ecosystem properly getting built in India through Niti Aayog Atal Innovation Mission. I will also give some inputs on the same. So students can think of lot of startup ideas, and for that, how teachers and how leaders of the institutions and how institutions should take some efforts. Are you able to see my PPT? Now coming to the teachers.
Yes, madam.
Yeah, coming to the teachers' point of view. So teachers can do online, that is e-content creation. How many of you have created your own lectures? Every time we are repeating the lectures. In case you are having 2-3 sections, you will be repeating the same paper for 3 sections. We never feel bored, right? So as teachers, we are always enjoying the teaching. And whenever we have worries, we forget all worries when we go and take one class in the classes in the university or school or college, right? So that is the real satisfaction we get. But now we are completely away with the physical teaching. So here what you can do, again, you are also having lot of time. So you can create whatever the preparation you make for online classes, you please make some recording. So you create e-content. And how I can do, you may ask, because I am a non-tech fellow. I am also a non-tech fellow, but my lectures are available in my YouTube. So now the open free source softwares, lot of softwares are available. We can record whatever our daily lectures and we can float it in our YouTube channel. To start with, it is just like a venture, right? And when you see that there are 20 lectures available in your YouTube channel, then you will be getting your motivation and you get your self-esteem that I have created this content. And again, one more important thing, as I told to students, faculty should also upskill themselves. You do certifications because we are not having very big financial problem. And there are a lot of resources available. So now if you take any field like analytics or any kind of field, you need to have a professional certification. If you say that I am a MCOM, MBA guy, nobody is bothering. But if you are having an industry certification, you are more preferred. You will get consultancy. You get lot of revenue generation for your
Seriously,
right? So here I am thinking of online.
screen petition not representing, please, madam.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, e-content creation is one, and upskilling is another, and certifications, and more YouTube channel I've already told. And during this pandemic, you know, many teachers from the universities and colleges, they have published impactful research papers. And another aspect where you can concentrate is becoming a mentor of the startup hubs or incubators nearby your area, where in educational institutions. So very conscious efforts are taken by Niti Aayog Atal Innovation Mission to have a list of mentors from various colleges, universities and schools here. So here you can be part of that mentors list, and you can also earn money and also get your knowledge widened. And another important thing is getting research projects. There are a lot of agencies now come up. You have Spark project. How many projects your college have from UGC or Impress? Any projects any faculty are having? ICSSR is giving grant, UGC is giving grant. Now the Ministry of Education has introduced Spark project, scheme for promotion of academic and research collaboration. So in which you can have foreign collaboration as well. So including colleges and universities, they have given lot of research grants. Now you people can think of writing research proposals and get research grants for you. And coming to the leaders, people like HODs, principals, you always have constraint, both financial as well as health constraint, because we cannot, it is an administrative work, because as for government institutions, you may not have required money. So how we can build on our network and leverage that network for the benefit of the institution, you have to think of in an innovative way. So when I took over as head of the department, as it was a pandemic situation, even my order I received late. But the moment I received order, I started organizing lot of new activities online, because 2 hours only students are engaged all the 5 days. What about Saturdays and Sundays? So every Saturday I made one alumni talk here, alumni to interact with our students. We have a big network of alumni, around 3,000 plus alumni we have for our department. So this alumni talk series has really motivated the students, the existing student, the present student. I am not spending any pie, but I am getting the industry exposure for my students. So you can do a lot of online activities, including the industry experts. If you have your own network with the industry, you can bring them online without spending any money. Clear? And motivating the students and teachers are very, very important during this pandemic situation. And conduct a lot of online workshops, have tie-ups, partnership and collaboration. This is the SDG 17, Sustainable Development Goals given by United Nations. So these kinds of partnership, tie-ups and collaborations with the industry in terms of placement, in terms of internship, in terms of funding, in terms of infrastructure, and whatever you require, these things will happen because of mere partnerships and collaboration. So leaders should think of this innovative ways. Clear? And the reallocation of resources. So earlier you were having lot of resources which were used for some other purposes. I'll give just one example. You may be having project grant in which travel is say 10 to 20%. Now 10 to 20% travel grant is not at all going to be utilized because of the pandemic. Travel was curtailed. So how these travel expenses can be reallocated for some creation of IT infrastructure. Clear? So these kind of innovative ideas you should think of. Then academic clubs can be started for the benefit of students. Lot of like entrepreneurship clubs. Now in our department, I can give my own example. As it is online activity we are taking up. We have started academic clubs on finance, marketing, HR and operations and entrepreneurship, and they interact every week once, and they are having a LinkedIn page wherein they will update all the developments, and alumni are part of that group, teachers are part of that group, students, current students are part of that group. So these academic club activities really motivate the students that they are not just away from the department, they are being taken care of, right? All these things have to be done by the leaders within the constraint of finance as well as health issue, because when we take lot of new initiatives, we constrain for timing, right? We are also having, we as leaders also do time management properly. Now coming to the institutions. So now the new educational policy 2020 has really given up lot of opportunities, and digital onboarding is one such activity every university and college has to do, right? Digital onboarding, I mean the IT infrastructure required. Now, when the pandemic started and when UGC announced that before September 30th, we have to announce the results, exams are to be conducted. How the colleges were facing difficulties because 50% of the students are not having internet connectivity. They are not having even one device, say mobile, right? So in that cases, how did we manage the examination? So the digital onboarding in terms of admission, in terms of examination, in terms of administration, all things are to be taken care of by the institutions. Again, here the resource is a major constraint. Through partnerships, CSR funds, you can definitely improve your infrastructure because there are a lot of corporate houses, industry houses, which are giving CSR funds for educational initiatives, health initiatives. So these things you have to leverage on. Then second important thing you need to think of is starting your own incubator, that is startup hub. Students, faculty, alumni, even administrative staff can think of incubating their ideas. Clear? Startup hub. And for this, funding is given liberally by government institutions. Mobilizing finance, I told. Partnership is another thing I already told. Now implementing new education policy becomes an innovative method for people. People who are going to be innovative will stay in the market, others will be thrown out of the market, because the new educational policy clearly states that autonomous degree granting colleges will come. Who is an autonomous degree granting college? Who offers or which offers multidisciplinary education? If you are offering commerce, computer science and Tamil, English, history, it is not sufficient. You need to tie up with other institutions, maybe through open and distance learning platforms, and you need to give academic bank of credit. So you are having commerce and computer science. Somebody wanted to learn hotel management. Somebody wanted to learn engineering technology. Somebody wanted to learn arts. So in that case, you need to tie up with a particular institution which is specializing in that area, and you have to provide an opportunity for your students to do that courses through open and distance learning. And based on that learning, you need to give academic bank for credit, academic credits for the students, right? So academic bank of credit is going to come next year. It is not very far. Next year we have to do all these things. And apart from that, very important thing we need to do is internationalization of education. So it is not always that now foreign universities are going to set up their branches here, and the policy has already been announced. And how your students can go to foreign. Now the pandemic is only now for a shorter time, maybe 1 or 2 years, but how you can position yourself in the international map. So you can have lot of MOUs, Memorandum of Understanding. Now in our department, we have 4 universities, one German, one France, one South Korea, and one South America. And people now around 8 to 10 students are traveling to these countries for 1 semester with the full scholarship. Those who are doing MBA in our department. So these kind of things will attract talented students to your department. So you need to do innovative, you need to follow innovative methods of implementing this new educational policy. If we are simply sitting as offering the same course, we will be just merged with some of the colleges and we will be losing our identity. So the institutions also should now rise up to the occasion to do these innovations. Now, coming to the innovation ecosystem in India, as I told you, Niti Aayog was set up in 2016, which replaced the 5-year Planning Commission, right? Planning Commission was replaced by Niti Aayog, which is a think tank of India. And they have introduced lot of new initiatives like Atal Tinkering Labs at school levels. And I think many of you would have aware of, at school levels, we have lot of Atal Tinkering Labs, wherein the idea and research can be thought of, problem can be identified, design thinking can be done, proof of concept can be mentored. So lot of teachers, lot of professors are mentors in Atal Tinkering Labs. And please, all the faculty can think of becoming mentors because they need more and more experts. Second level of activity they have taken is Atal Incubation Centers, wherein we do real pilot implementation. The idea what we got from the Tinkering Lab is now tried here. So pilot implementation is done, and almost all the engineering colleges, universities are given Atal Incubation Centers with a funding of 10 crore. If you want to set up, your college wanted to set up AIC, you are welcome. You can just apply to Niti Atal Innovation Mission and get it done. And third initiative they have introduced is Atal New India Challenge, wherein real production is done through the startups, right? So whatever we have done in pilot implementation, if it is successful and they are given some kind of a step up, like acceleration is done through the Atal New India Challenge, they will be calling for hackathons or ideathons or the ideas, successful ideas, and they will be pitched for the funding. So where you will be getting huge funding for starting your own production if your idea is really successful and very useful to the society. Then another initiative we have is Atal Community Innovation Centers. I am very proud to say that I am the project leader of Atal Community Innovation Center in Pondicherry University. And the main idea is, see, all the above things, like from idea to product production startup, if you wanted to have, the community should be involved. What are the community challenges? What are the social issues? For that, how we can give innovative solutions using the technology or any other method. So that is the objective of Atal Community Innovation Center, and that aim, that is Atal Innovation Mission, is giving a funding of 2.5 crore, and we are getting a matching grant of 2.5 crore from the funding partner. Then another initiative we have is Atal Research Innovation for Small Enterprises. Here production startup, large scale deployment, all things are taken care of. So this is the innovation ecosystem in India, which is very, very supportive to the students. And I should also mention about this Atmanirbhar, which is catering to these 5 pillars, which takes more time. I am just avoiding. Just these are the 5 pillars: economy, how economy can support, how infrastructure should be developed, how foolproof system should be available. And you know, the demographic dividend, the youth population is very, very important, and the demand is very huge in India. So India need not look for the West or other countries. Every country will look to India, and India will become self-reliant. That is the policy which our present government is having. Now, if you take the opportunities, our new education policy 2020 has opened up a lot of new opportunities wherein innovative ideas are welcome. Your enterprising nature only make you survive in the market. And again, from the students' point of view, the Ministry of Skills Development, they've identified 20 future skills like IoT, cyber security, artificial intelligence, blockchain technology. So there are a lot of future skills they have identified. There are a lot of programs which are going on free of cost to equip yourself. Whoever is interested, please visit Ministry of Skills Development. They are conducting regular programs for the student benefit. And as I already told you, government funding you have to tap because DST is giving, Science and Technology is giving, Department of Biotech is giving, Atal Innovation Mission is giving. There are a lot of other funding agencies which are liberally now giving funding. Only research proposals are required from the faculty side or institution side. So institutions should really motivate the faculty to write proposals for their individual research purpose as well as for the institutional facilities like startup hub, accelerators, to set up some kind of innovation hub. These are all the things required. And for doing all these, you should always collaborate with the industry because industry collaboration is very, very inevitable because ultimately we need to market our innovation, right? Simply we innovate and we sit in our home, nobody knows about our innovation. So we need to have that motivation, means we need to come to the market. For that, we need to have a system. And now coming to Odisha, I hope you all know this data. The number of startups we have in Odisha is 774. Seed fund startups are 116. Venture fund startups are 21. Incubators are only 12. See the number, only 12 incubators are there. So now your college can think of setting up an incubator. Number of incubators are only 75. Incubation space is okay. Nodal agencies are 13. Number of entrepreneurship cells are only 17. Your college also can think of setting up entrepreneurship and development cell. Now coming to the final conclusion. So Odisha is looking for a new wave of innovation. This was the tagline the Odisha government is using. So its aim is to become top third startup hub in India by having accelerators, entities like 1% company, incubators like startup hubs, then encouraging startups. And Odisha is also identified as smart city, I hope, right? Then they are also having ease of doing business. Only with 3 steps, anybody can start the business. So I feel new wave of COVID will be beaten up by the new wave of innovation in Odisha. Now to conclude, 20 years from now, you will be more disappointed by the things that you did not do than by the ones that you did do. So throw off the bowlines, sail away from the safe harbor, catch the trade winds in your side, and explore, dream, and discover. Given by Mark Twain. So with this, I close my presentation. Now, any interaction we can take up as per your convenience.